What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake MLB DFS Wise Stream, CK013. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013, and I, of course, am from the WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed above directly at wisetake.com. If you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level, we are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community designed to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out. Day passes available, wisetake.com. If you are looking for some free fire DFS content, you've come to the right place. So make sure you subscribe. Hit the notifications bell. Don't miss out on any of the free content we put out. Currently covering MLB slates Monday through Friday, meaning we stream Sunday night through Thursday night with our first look right here. And don't forget to hit the like button. Leave me some comments. Love hearing from you guys. Share the show as much as possible. All that great shit. Shout out to the nation. Pat Bush, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Weekend was good. Man. Weekends are always good. Time with the family. Take some time to get some shit done that you just don't have got time to do during the week. You know, when you're looking after the kid and grinding this DFS craziness that we do. Time to grind was going on, man. Said took a week away. Dropped them sevens and dirties. Yes, sir. You've been around a while. Yes, sir. When you hear somebody say that, you know they've been around a while. DFS wise, things have been heating up a little bit. On Sunday, I don't write an article Sunday. We do our projections and cheat sheets, but I don't write an article. We use our automated tools for those days. Did have a Red Sox stack against Cole. I was suspicious, right, of the spin rate thing. It appears, I think it's affecting Bauer too, but I think that it's really affecting Cole and his ability to strike guys out. His command just doesn't seem as good. Like he's clearly having an issue gripping the ball. So did that. That worked out pretty well. Pat Bush, man. Says Stroman cost me from cashing. He was awful. Yeah, man. He coming off an injury. I don't know if he was still hurt or something was off. He's coming out. Remember, he came out early in the last game because of a hamstring. So I don't know what the deal was with him, but I will say this about you, Pat. I will say this about you. I don't think anybody in the WiseTake Nation is going to feel too bad because you've been on fire, bro. Doing NBA playoff showdowns, cashing the MLB. You've been on fire, bro. So shout out to Pat Bush for doing dirties. All right. So we've got ourselves pretty decent size. What is it? 9-game slate. I can get down on that. 9-game slate. Not too many, not too little. I think it's kind of just right. Trevor Bauer, as we start off with the top pitchers, Trevor Bauer, I think will be pillar against the Giants, as he should be. One of the more proven pitchers we've had on the slate, right? Or one of the more proven pitchers of dominance that we have on this slate. We have other pitchers to consider, but I think Bauer somewhat popular, and I'm curious to see where his ownership goes. I think if his ownership is really high, like I expect it to be, then maybe we want to stay away. But if people don't play him, then it's kind of interesting, right? If we take a look at the Giants against Righties, perfect tournament spot. They have a with a 111 WRC plus. However, they also have a 25.9% strikeout rate. So this seems to be like a one way or another. Or you could look at it like just play Bauer in cash, because there's a good chance even if he gives up some runs, he's going to rack up some Ks, which gives you a solid floor. So a couple of different ways you can go. But Bauer, I think, will be the most popular. Freddie Peralta, I think, may be the lowest owned of these three studs. We'll talk about third being Luis Giolito. His numbers are slightly better. His K rate's actually higher. Numbers are very similar to Bauer otherwise. But I think that people just don't, people have a hard time really trusting him. And he's kind of priced in between Giolito and Bauer, so I don't know if there's really an incentive. Maybe on FanDuel he'll get a little bit more love because he's a little bit cheaper. But he's still close to Giolito, who people really like. If we take a look at the Cubbies, Cubbies are 92 WRC plus, 302 WOBA, deal with 176 ISO, which you can see is the only green that you'll see in this bottom section that they are. This is currently sorted by WRC plus. The Cubs do have a 26.5% K rate though, which is nice. Right, so I think Peralta could be the lowest owned of the bunch, but game is in Milwaukee, a little bit of a smaller park, something to consider. Giolito, I think, if absolute chalk, which I think he will be, I think Giolito is People love playing Giolito. I like playing Giolito, but people love playing Giolito. Last time he was on a slate, he was like 37% on. Granted, different slate. He was a little, but not a good park. He's playing a Minnesota team that has a 104 WRC plus, a 322 WOBA, 183 ISO, and only a 22.9% K rate. So on paper, it looks a little scary. But I will say that Giolito's had some, because of his changeup, man, he's got this ability to strike people out that some other pitchers have a hard time striking out. So again, it comes down to ownership in tournaments. I still think Bauer will be the way people win, especially because of the park in cash games. But Peralta's kind of, he seems kind of interesting to me, right? What else? I'm not a big Peralta guy. I never have been, but kind of just using that game theory. As far as cheaper option goes, Kenta Maeda has not looked as good this year. I don't know, like, it's not like for him, it stopped, like, it was just all of this year. So unless he had some intuition about the sticky stuff happening and he just stopped on his own, I don't think it has too much to do with that. But regardless, his numbers are down. It's not a good park in Chicago. He's playing a White Sox team that has been great against lefties, but against righties, they've been just kind of okay. A 101 WRC plus, slightly above average. 136 ISO is not good. 24% K rate. So as far as cheap options go, he is 7-1 on FanDuel. I think DraftKings at 7.5 is where it's a little bit more interesting. And the other guy, you guys, spoiler alert, he's the cover boy of the show. But I went with Eli Morgan. Right? Eli Morgan, we've only seen a few appearances from him. We haven't seen a ton. But if you look at his XFIP and Sierra, it's not bad. 27.8% K rate. And on top of that, he's playing the Tigers. So it kind of just checks some boxes. We haven't seen him enough to make any definitive statements by any means. But I did think that, look, he's playing Detroit. 91 WRC plus, 304 WOBA, 156 ISO, and a 26.5% K rate. So for the simple fact that he's playing Detroit in Cleveland, somewhat of a neutral type park, I think he's significantly higher than his ERA. With an 8.9% K rate, Cleveland will put the ball in play. So I think Cleveland could be interesting. I don't know where the ownership is going to rank in terms. Maybe they end up being like the popular choice, because even though people think Boston is better, even though Boston is a better team, you got to go against Danny Duffy, who's looked pretty good. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. We'll have to see. The Royals are the team that I think could be kind of sneaky. They're getting a massive park boost. But I was listening to, I think, the Red Sox broadcast, and they were talking about how, Boston is a little concerned with Garrett Richards with these sticky substance bans. So I guess Garrett Richards was using some shit to grip the ball, and maybe they're now a little concerned. I'm not totally positive on that. It was something like that, and it was on a Red Sox broadcast, which I thought was kind of funny. But needless to say, the Royals are not a good offense, but they are probably going to be low owned. And this is a team in Kansas City that plays in a very large park, a very pitcher-friendly park. They're getting an opportunity to play in Boston, which is a very hitter-friendly park, against Garrett Richards, who I don't think is any good. 39% hard contact rate, does have a decent ground ball rate, but a Sierra over 5 and an XFIP at 4.79, only an 18.4% K rate. Again, the Royals are not a good offense, but they do put the ball in play. 22.4% K rate. We should see the ball put in play. So they could be maybe on the more sneakier side. I'll go kind of narrow down my options, or in my article, as I always do, later on. But just those are the ones that kind of stood out to me initially. Some of the ones that I think will be popular, and then I don't think the Royals will be too popular. Things to watch: Jared Eichhoff is back in our lives. He's playing for my New York Mets, which is scary, but they're banged up. They have no choice, missing a lot of pitchers. He's playing the Nationals. We're going to put the ball in play. Last time we saw Eichhoff, he wasn't very good. That's why we haven't seen him in a long time. So keep an eye on that matchup. Kyle Hendricks, a pitcher that nobody's really going to get too far into. His numbers are always kind of mediocre. He's on that cusp, but he does have upside. He's playing Milwaukee, a team that we know is not very good against righties this year, with an 83 WRC plus, a 291 WOBA, a 148 ISO, and a 25.8% K rate. So keep an eye on Hendricks. Last but not least, DeSclafani is playing the Dodgers. So Bellinger's back. You got Muncy. You got a couple good lefties for the Dodgers. DeSclafani has always had strong splits in favor of lefties in terms of you want to attack him with lefties. He's really struggled with lefties. He's been decent this year. Price is low, but the Dodgers, very tough offense to take. I mean, a very tough offense to go against. 21.9% K rate, 172 ISO, 337 WOBA, second highest WRC plus against righties, and they've held this for a while. I think they were ahead of Astros for a little bit. So curious to see what wins out there. Does DeSclafani have another good game at a cheap price, or does do the Dodgers kind of tattoo him a little bit with some of the lefties they got? I don't know. All right, we're gonna go with downwatch now. Time to pick some home runs. I think I'm going J-Ram number 1 as one of my infielders. Go J-Ram. I'm gonna go with shit. I don't know if he's still playing. Never mind. I feel like I want to get. Okay, we'll go with the Red Sox against Stuffy. Let's go JD as the outfielder. So that's J-Ram and JD. And then let's go with Sal P, man. It's Sal Perez. I think he'll be low on because he's expensive as shit at catcher. Go with Sal Perez, man. Sally P from way back when. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for this edition of the MLB Wise stream. I appreciate those of you who hung out with us, took the time to watch, whether it's live with us or after the fact. Please leave some comments. Love hearing back from you guys, whether it's thoughts on the show or just your general thoughts on the slate. I love hearing that shit. It's like a community. So in order for us to be a true community, we need some interaction. Shout out to some of the new members at WiseTake.com, man. You guys have been trying to get the Slack rolling. I appreciate that. You know, on the weekends, I try to get in there. Sunday's really tough. That's kind of like my day off until nighttime, you know, to really get this shit done with the family in the house. But I did see some messages. I did see some of you guys were talking. Trying to get it rolling, so I appreciate that. Both the new members and the old members, man. Guys like the OG MD Smitty, man. Nice, long time member. We really appreciate him. So keep doing dirties, dropping sevens. That's what we do at the nation. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button on your way out. For myself, the entire WiseTake Nation, as always, good luck.